Are you trying to pick between the Steam Deck OLED and the Nintendo Switch 2 in 2025?
Yeah, boy.
This one is going to make it easier. But let's be clear, this isn't a fair fight, because these two don't even play in the same weight class. Still, it feels like a fight, doesn't it? So let's step into that ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Handheld Console Fight of the Year. In the red corner, Linux-powered, man-crazy, and glowing since its 2023 OLED upgrade, it is the Steam Deck OLED. And in the blue corner, sleek, iconic, and armed with Nintendo's freshest exclusives, the the one and only unveiled Nintendo Switch 2.
It is 2025. The arena is packed. The bell's about to ring. But here's the truth. This isn't a real fight. These two don't even play in the same weight class. They are fundamentally different machines, but they're also the two handhelds most people are deciding between right now, because handheld gaming isn't a niche anymore, it's booming. Asus, Lenovo, Ioneo, whatever they're called, they're all in the game. But for most people, for people who just want a great experience out of the box, it comes down to these two. It's either the Steam Deck OLED or the Nintendo Switch 2. So no, they're not really fighting, but we're putting them side to side anyway to help you figure out which one belongs in your life. Now that we've set the stage, let's break down how each of these handhelds actually feels in your hands and what kind of player they're designed for. The Nintendo Switch 2, which isn't even out yet by the time I'm making this video, is all about consistency, comfort and exclusives. It is the evolution of a system that sold over 150 million units for a reason.
Wow.
You pick it up and it just works. It's made for everybody. Zelda, Mario, Animal Crossing, these games are about the experience. It's simple, it's polished, it's joyful, and Nintendo made sure that everything feels familiar, at least listening to those who tried the machine, even in this new generation. But let's be real, Nintendo is also playing it very safe. And for some, that's a good thing, but for others, it might just feel like more of the same. But what about the Steam Deck OLED? Well, that is essentially a completely different mood, and it's not trying to be cozy. We obviously know it is a perfectly cozy machine, but it's trying to be capable, essentially, in the first place. Because if you want to emulate on it, you can. If you want to put Windows on it, you can. You want to mod Skyrim until your dragon looks like Thomas the Tank Engine, you can do it. So this is a machine for people who like options. Of course, if you follow the handheld world, you know that. And I'm looking at the Windows machines. There are machines out there who give you even more options. But it is for somebody who enjoys pushing the limits a bit more than on the Switch 2. So it is, I would say, a machine for somebody who wants the handheld to be truly their own. Let's have a quick look at the specs, because they're fun to read. It's always nice to compare these kind of things, but in the end it's not really what we remember. So the Steam Deck OLED, we all know it features the 7-inch HDR OLED display with 90Hz refresh rate, 1000 nits of brightness up to, and it's got really impressive thermals, and it's a powerhouse in your hand. It feels very premium. The Switch 2, which is finally arrived, it's official, it's been tested, it's still being tested. It has this 7.9-inch 1080p LCD screen, VRR up to 120Hz and 256 GB of storage, and it has these new Joy-Cons which are magnetically attached, and it looks absolutely crisp, it looks beautiful. The thinness of that machine is something mind-blowing, and I can't wait to see it live. Price is about 469, 470 euro in Europe for the machine itself, or €510 for the Mario Kart bundle. So you work that out in US dollar. But still, the specs, they don't really make memories, because what sticks at the end of the day is how you get lost in your game, wherever you are, because you can take this wherever you are. But let's for a minute get down to where the confrontation, even though we said there isn't a confrontation between these two machines, gets really personal. And that is actually the heart of any console, the games. Because in fact, if you're somebody that really loves the unique exclusives of the Nintendo world, and they shaped your childhood, like, let's be frank, we've probably all been shaped in a way or the other by the titles that Nintendo put out, whether it's been Mario, Pokemon or Zelda, then the Switch 2 is probably a no-brainer, because you're right at home with it. And these games, they're more than just games, they're actually cultural icons. On Switch 2, you're going to have a lot of flexibility, because you can play them super easily, you can use the game cards, and there's going to be enhanced Switch 2 editions, that's what we've seen, and then you can download titles digitally from the eShop, and you can even transfer your old Switch library with the save data and everything. What is new as well is the virtual game cards that let you lend games digitally to friends. We've seen all of that huge social aspect that Nintendo is playing a lot when they did the presentation of the Switch 2. That's quite huge, and there is obviously backward compatibility. It seems to be mostly in place, so they'll patch games, etc., but that's a great thing. Price-wise, Nintendo has really activated a huge shitstorm. Obviously, it wasn't Nintendo if you're looking a little bit into the political and economic situation of the globe right now. You know that it stems from a different point, but at first, releases will likely set us back between $50 to $70, and everybody is really screaming about that, because it is quite a bit of money. And on Nintendo's side, the sales, they're usually rare and modest. Now, swinging over to Steam, maybe you already have a backlog that includes quite a few Steam games, because you've been playing PC games for quite some time, or maybe like me, you didn't even have a Steam account before the Steam Deck. That was my case coming from console, but it's very easy to build up a library fast, thanks to all the bundles, the giveaways, and all the sales that you get on Steam. And there's thousands of games there, because you've got Day 1 accesses, you've got indies, you've got AAAs, you've got mods, emulators, everything you want really. And there's also the other platforms where you can download keys. So greatest thing for me about Steam is the fact that you can get games that usually were maybe €60 or $1 on a weekend where you've got a sale for the game. They can be offered for $9 to $10 US dollars or euros. So it's really a rabbit hole, and it's really fast to set up a library, really, that never stops growing. So what matters to you most is what it comes down to here. Do you want Nintendo magic at a premium, or Steam freedom on a budget? So when it comes to choosing between one of these two machines, I think we need to do a real test, which is to ask ourselves, what kind of gamer am I, or what kind of gamer are you? Do you want a system that's quick, reliable, that feels like a warm hug, I'd say, when you fire it up? Something that just works, where there's no setup, no tweaks, no fuss? Or are you the kind of person that wants to dive into settings a bit more, that maybe wants to swap out the SSD because they find that 512 GB is too small and they'd rather have a terabyte? Do you want to dual boot operating systems? Do you want to mod games just because you can? Are you team, just give me a game and let me play? Or are you team, let me customize the whole damn thing? So it's not really about right or wrong. It's not about which console wins, it's just about what clicks with you. So if we need a verdict here, I will start by giving one from my point of view. For me, I love the Steam Deck OLED because it's powerful enough for me, it's a flexible machine. and it feels like my own. As I said before, I didn't have a Steam library when I got it, and I wasn't even a PC gamer, but there was something about the Steam Deck experience that just pulled me in, and it gave me freedom to access a huge library of games, to explore them at a very reasonable price, to tweak them and to build my own experience. So far as that, now I barely touch my console, and actually this whole channel, it started because of that experience. By the way, I'm soon going to drop my 1 year with the deck video, so you can stay tuned for that. Will I pick up a Switch 2? Well, honestly, I wasn't super hyped at first, but I'm seeing real potential in the machine, which to me looks absolutely gorgeous, and I definitely want to see it in action. I want to touch it, I want to feel it, I want to see what kind of experience it offers. Will I get one? That's a difficult one, because the pre-orders are basically impossible right now, but let's see what happens. But here's the thing, which is very nice and was actually the whole premise of the video. We don't have to pick a side, we just have to pick a fit. If we love the plug and play magic, world-class first-party titles, everything working seamlessly out of the box, well then the Switch 2 is going to be for us. If we want more flexibility, massive game variety, and more power to customize every inch of that experience, then probably the Steam Deck is where we're leaning towards. Both devices, I think, are doing different things incredibly well, so this isn't really a fight, it's just a question. Which one fits us better? So that's about it for today, and tell me, what fits your life better right now? Are you Team Steam Deck or Team Switch 2? Are you like me? Are you interested in both? Do hit the comments, because I reply to all of them, and let me know. I'm very curious about this. And by the way, if you like these kind of videos, feel free to press that like button and let me know. And if you want to join the conversation and you want to become part of the crew, well, all you got to do is just press the subscribe button. In any case, I hope you enjoyed watching or listening to today's episode. There's plenty more coming your way, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.